Coming to you live from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. It's the Spring in the Spring Open Mic Late Show Edition. The Dark and Daring Show. Content may be not suitable for all viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. And now, it's your host, the most handsome, affable, debonair, and hilarious Jeff Laurence. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all for coming on, and thank you all for tuning in to the late night edition of the Spring to Spring Open Mic Show. And I hope you are enjoying the spring right here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. It is right on the doorstep of spring, but then we never know. This is the month we could go from spring to winter to spring. And, you know, sometimes we have 3 seasons in 1 month. So one thing about Canada is that Canada is the only country in the world where, you know, if you're waiting for nicer weather, you know, just don't worry, because summer could be around the corner, and in fact could be in 3 days. The weather changes so fast. We could literally have a change of seasons in less than 1 day, in 12 hours. It'll just go from winter to spring, just like that. It's amazing. Thank you very much, Monica. And okay. All right. So, in the news, Meghan Markle, you know, she's, her ears must be burning, because the two guys, imagine like 2 guys on the street in London, you know, making Meghan Markle jokes, you know. Hey, Franklin, do you know how you can tell Meghan Markle has an orgasm? I don't know, Burton. But I think you have to listen very carefully for the sound of her nail file hitting the floor. Yeah, I mean, after the Oprah interview, I mean, the London Stock Exchange must have like almost took a nosedive. But one stock that did actually very well, it's a company that sells ice water. Their stock went straight up. What did Meghan Markle's father say when she first had her period? Oh, bloody hell! Yeah, so I heard there's probably some problems with this AstraZeneca vaccine. Some countries in Europe, you know, well, forget about AstraZeneca. I mean, I heard they're coming out with a new vaccine for autism, and they're going to call it AstraZeneca. Yeah. So I come from a very colorful family. It's like 50 Shades of Gray. But so, and the family's so big on my mother's side, I didn't meet over 95% of my relatives. So I said, Ma, when can we go to California and meet the relatives? My long lost cousins, you know? She says, well, I think there's going to be a problem with that, Jeffrey. I don't know which penitentiary they're in. I actually had an uncle who died of a heart attack in the bed of the other woman. You know, and the strangest thing about it was, like, one of my uncles was saying to my cousins, go identify the body, but don't tell Fanny, as if she couldn't figure out her husband was cheating on her after he didn't come home after 3 days. Had a goofy aunt from Halifax, Nova Scotia. She'd come in and visit, you know, and she tried to fix up her daughter with the anchorman from CTV News. So she used to speak to the TV screen a lot. I said, Aunt Sarah, you know he can't hear you, do you? You know that. He can't hear you. Yeah, yeah. It was nuts. Actually, back in Buckingham Palace, you know, Prince Charles was going, "Mommy, why do they think we're racist? We're not racist. Whenever have we been racist?" So the Queen says to Charles, "Oh, Charles, shut the fuck up already, will you, you idiot?" um, yeah. Uh, okay. So yeah, I should call myself the Minuteman because that's about as long my erection lasts, you know. And I'm sorry to disappoint you ladies out there because I'm a terrible lover. My recovery time is 24 hours and 30 minutes for medical. That's why it's always better if you can sleep with your doctor, you know, especially if you're over 60 or 65, you know, just on the safe side, you know. Yeah, they're saying the vaccine is the boomer remover, but now they have a new generation. But technically speaking, they're saying now I'm not a boomer because I was born too late. So I'm a Gen Joneser. So, you know, so this is no, not me. I'm not a boomer. No. I'm a Gen Joneser. You know, if my parents would have waited any longer, I would have been in Gen X. I've been like in the sandwich generation. Like, what kind of sandwich? Ham sandwich? Blech. You know, completely missed Woodstock. I was too young. I mean, what? I mean, I really don't have an identity. I mean, you know, I'm in between here. I'm in between a rock and a hard place, or you know, like a bong or and a bag of acid. I don't know. You know, I mean. You know, I'm really not crazy about this Meghan Markle. Harry is like pussy whip, most pussy whip man in England. You know, like, whew, whew, whew. I mean, you know, what are you gonna do now? You're gonna hang around in Los Angeles and Hollywood, like as if they really want you. But I mean, I think you call that celebrity squatting, wouldn't you say? Like, you know, celebrity squatting. You know, I mean, if you run away, hide out in British Columbia, why don't you? Well, our prime minister decides he doesn't want anything to do with the royals or the queen, but I'm not sure how I feel about that because I would kind of miss having the Queen or Prince Charles on her money or some other royal with big ears. You know? Okay, so time to get on with the show, and I'm going to bring up our first comedian. Jennifer is TV writer, producer for the Game Show Network and performs all over her house. And her Venmo address for the virtual tip jar, if you want to tip her, is at Jennifer-Valley, Vally. Please give a very warm welcome to Jennifer Valley.
Woo! Jennifer Valley's here. Yahoo! Thank you, everybody. Such an international show. I'm coming to you live from Los Angeles, California, the city where the breasts are fake, but the assholes are real. What? Yes, it's true. I've been in quarantine 367 days. That's right, 367 days. I've probably done, I'm going to say close to or over 100 Zoom shows. And what I've learned in this year is that this is about as close as I can get and still look fuckable. I get any closer, they're like, hey, oldie Han, back it up, lady. Yeah, I've been in quarantine 367 days. Haven't had a bra on most of that. Woo!
Yeah.
And don't worry, don't worry about me sagging and all that. My family's from the Netherlands, and my mother always told me, don't wear a bra. That's why European women's breasts look so good. They use their own pectoral muscles, so the breasts stay high and perky. So I've been trying it this year. And it actually works because they used to be down here. Now they're up here. What? That's high. That's pretty high. And if we're in quarantine another year, they may end up here. What? No, that's too high. That's way too high. Unless shoulder pads come back, then I could just throw a sweater over it, and I'll be styling and profiling.
Oh, man.
And playing with my nipples. Wait, that's weird. Self-care. I don't know about you guys, but during this quarantine, self-care has really gone down the shitter. Haven't done a lot of self-care. The other day, I did some self-care. I didn't want to. I had to. I had to trim my pubic hair because I tripped on them going up the stairs. What? No, that's too long. I have to take some choppers. Anyway. I've been lucky enough to work at home. Anybody else work at home? I've been working at home. It's cool and all because you can do whatever you want. You can eat and smoke and pee and poop whenever you want. Play with your kitty cats. But here's the thing. What I really miss is going to the stealing stuff from the office supply cabinet. Who's with me? Oh my God, has anybody ever bought a Post-it ever? No. Jesus Christ. And then I got this. Wait, what is this? Oh yeah. This liquid paper. What? Oh my God. You know what's going to happen when the office opens back up? I'm going to take this liquid paper back to the cabinet. Someone else will take it home. This is like the fruit cake of office supplies. Who the fuck is using whiteout? So I'm single. What? Me? I know. I can't believe it myself, people. Settle down. And I'll tell you, it's tough. I'll tell you why, because there's rules in Los Angeles. You may not have heard this, where you are, you Canadians. In Los Angeles, there's a rule for dating for men. Here's the rule. The perfect age woman for a man in Hollywood is half his age plus 7 years. I don't know if any of you have heard this bullshit. It's like, so a guy's 60, half his age 30 plus 7, 37. Like, really? Why do I want to date a dead guy? Come on. Give this lady a chance. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, so I have an idea. There's no other ladies here. I'm the only one. But here's my idea. From now on, I'm only going to date guys that are half my IQ. Plus 7 points. You know what I'm talking about. Like my IQ is 140 as far as you guys know. Okay, so half that is 70 plus 7 is 77. That's not like the small bus, but it's definitely not gifted and talented, because I like my guys smart enough to follow orders, but dumb enough not to question them. You know what I'm talking about? Eat pussy and take out the trash. God. I don't know about you guys up there, but here I've been in lockdown 367 days, and what I've been doing spending a lot of time on the social media. Anybody else? I've been like, I look at my phone app. It's like 4 or 5 hours a day I'm on my phone, and what I do most of the time is I'm bored. I look up old friends on the internet. Anybody do that? Try to search out like, oh, what's going on with my old friends? So I got curious. I was curious about, I wonder what happened to my old prom date, Warren. He was a cool dude. We used to party together, And guess what? I found a picture of him. Here it is. Let me see. Look at him. He's got long red hair. That's a light blue tuxedo, by the way, okay? So I'm looking up Warren. I'm like, what's Warren up to? Warren. Moved to Utah. That's weird. Okay. Guess what? Warren, anti-vaxxer QAnon follower. What? No, Warren, why? Has anybody happened to anybody else? All of a sudden, an old friend has turned into some they lost their fucking mind. I don't know what happened. Anyway, he's like, I'm not going to take the vaccine. I don't know what's in the vaccine. I'm no fucking guinea pig. Okay, let me tell you something about Warren Goodrow. Okay, this is the guy I partied with, right? 2 hours after this nautical photo was taken, he took something called cannabinol, which is like horse tranquilizer, and was sitting in a corner drooling on himself. What? You don't know what's in it, motherfucker? You won't take a vaccine? snort cocaine off a toilet seat. And he's worried about what's in a fucking vaccine. Oh, God. All right, my time is up. But before I go, here's my advice to all the guys out there. Go get your prick, or I don't want to see your dick. All right. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jennifer. Yeah, a very hilariously sexy woman with all that dirty talk. I'm telling you. I mean, you could have put Viagra out of business. So we're going to say goodbye to Jennifer.
See you later, gang. Have good
Before we
sex.
bring on
I
our
stay
next
and watch
comic.
it, but others are waiting. See ya.
Okay, so for our next act, our next comic, here we go. Matthew is he's a handyman. He's a roller skating instructor and a San Francisco comedian. Okay, his Venmo, you could tip him at his Venmo at Matthew Quirk QUIRK-2. Please give a very warm welcome to Matthew Quirk.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, snowflakes? Hey, I tell you what, I'm glad you brought up Prince Harry and Meghan Markle and their baby. I think Prince Harry missed an opportunity when they asked like what the baby would look like. He should have said, "Don't worry, he won't look inbred." Anyway, COVID's been great for me, guys. COVID has been great. It turns out I'm an essential worker, and you guys are all a bunch of losers. Yeah, COVID's great. I'm 53. I've already had the best years of my life. Like, COVID's like a millennial problem, or like Gen Z or something. That's their problem. Anyway, I'm pretty known in the SF Bay Area to come down pretty hard on millennials. But let me Gen explain myself here. I mean, so have you heard that with the vaccinations that even like the younger people are getting actually sick from these vaccinations? They're so weak. The vaccine is getting them sick. Anyway, I mean, they're just so disappointing, but I guess I always should have known we couldn't rely on them. I mean, they're definitely allergic to peanut butter and bread. It's just one thing after another with their stupid diets. They've got their stupid paleo diet. Like, oh, I'm so paleo. How come I'm not losing weight? You know, it's because you're not being paleo. Paleos were shivering. You should try shivering. It works your core. All those hard to reach muscles. That's why they were so ripped. They were shivering all the time. Oh shit! My headphones just about to go out.
Oh.
Switching ears, boys. Oh yeah, you're just so delusional. If you were a paleo, if a paleo was alive today, they would be fat, diabetic, and so fucking happy.
Mm.
So eat your bread. Anyway, yeah, just so delusional as a generation with all your diets. Your stupid kombucha. Who drinks kombucha? Be honest. Yeah, it's like someone took turnt wine and skunk beer and mixed them together. But now that I'm drinking it, I realize it's the slurry they use for fracking.
Mm.
It's causing major climate change in my microbiomes. And I am producing methane. That's a science joke. Anyway, I got off of that shit and I started eating kimchi instead. But now that I'm eating kimchi, I gotta say, what the fuck is wrong with Koreans? How do you make cabbage worse? I eat that stuff and it makes me Kim Jong-il. Kim Jong-il, guys. I'm keeping his name out there. I'm keeping him relevant. Yeah, it's just one thing after another with your delusional generation. You're just so delusional with your workouts. Your stupid, big-for-nothing CrossFit. What do you guys need CrossFit for? So you can code? There was a thing that my generation did that took the place of CrossFit. They were called chores. That doesn't shake. The only reason you do CrossFit is you just do more CrossFit. That's cocaine. See, cocaine went to rehab and came back as a fitness routine. And that's why we have CrossFit today. Anyway, CrossFit, speaking of delusional, they did a movie about themselves where they call themselves the fittest people on earth. But how do you call yourself the best at anything if you're not competing against any black or brown people? It's more like burning CrossFit.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Anyways, CrossFit, you live this nerfed out life of mini concussions and micro concussions. They didn't have concussions when I was growing up. They were called getting your bell rung. And it was good for you. It built character, which is why I got all this character. A lifetime of mini, micro, and major concussions. All right. Good luck in the future, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Matthew. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, tough generation CrossFit. I mean, you know, they had it rough. You know, my father was old school, so he came from the generation that was past the generation of all my friends, like the older than the generation of even my friends, and they were spoiled. And so I came from old school, where you're lucky if you got a quarter. If you did your chores, you took out the garbage, you're very lucky if they gave you a quarter. You know, I was 14. He made me dig up a whole garden. I was a 14-year-old kid. He made me dig up a whole garden. It says, you know, hard work never hurt anybody. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I see it almost killed you of a heart attack. You know? Okay, Matthew, thank you very much. We'll bid
All right,
you
thank you.
adieu.
Good luck,
And
everybody.
now it's time to, and we'll bring on a new comic from the backstage studio. Okay, and we're going to bring on introduce a new comic right now. And Joey is a good friend of mine, and met in Montreal, fellow Montrealer. And he's hosted shows. He is an outstanding stand-up comedian, and he is now host of 2 podcasts, which is the Dirty Four podcast and another Saturday afternoon podcast. So you can catch him and tune in Saturday afternoons. And there's another podcast, I think it's Rapid Flames with Vance. Did you do you do one with Vance?
That's not me. That's Peter.
No,
Peter does
Peter. Oh, that's
the
Peter.
Rapid Flames. Oh, it's cool.
Okay.
I'm echoing my own presentation. Look at that.
So I got confused. So many podcasts to get so
I know,
confused.
right?
So please give it up for the boy from Baie-Comeau, Joey LaFlamme.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, how are you doing? Doing good.
Yeah,
Give a
yeah.
good hand of applause for Jeffrey.
Yeah.
He's been doing his best despite of whatever his tone sounds like. Let's reevaluate what just happened. Like Matthew, right? Talking about how much my generation is weak and everything. And you got to see like all the decision all his upbringing from his generation brought him, looking like a homeless guy in a fucking van. Like I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, this fucker lives the dream. I want to be that when I grew up. All right, so now I have chased it off my system. I can start my actual set. So, like you said, my name is Joey, but not by choice. I don't really like my first name because you don't expect a Joey to be smart right off the bat, especially with that voice. And you don't expect a Joey to be on that A team of super genius working on that COVID vaccine. You expect a Joey to get his dick stuck in a vacuum cleaner. Necrophiles. Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
Cool. Actually, their deal is it just that they're a lazy rapist? Okay, that jokes is kind of died. All right. That's fine. Not a great one. All right. So my career of necrophile jokes teller is now dead. So I'm gonna start a YouTube channel where I display my grandmother recipe, since she does really good crystal meth. Talking about cool grandmothers, like I have the grandmother of one of my good friends that has a fucking good tattoo, nice looking tattoo, and I asked him where she got it, right? And she told me Auschwitz. Yeah, I was so bummed out because I looked it up and it's closed since the 40s. Like in Quebec, we have a public elder care home, like home for old people. Like situation over there is pretty shitty. Like they have one bath per week and everybody's losing their shit about it. But in Auschwitz, you really got only one shower. It's not getting any better, so you better get used to it. I figure out that one of the best jobs to have is like working in a cancer ward for kids, because you don't get to buy a lot of Christmas gift. All right, so I know this joke. I'm not using it again. That's fine.
I loved it. Loved it.
Oh, you loved it. Thanks, you, sir. There's the queen that has been called out as being a racist, and everybody acts surprised and everything. And they're like, can you believe that the queen is racist? Yeah, I do actually. I can't believe she's fucking racist. She's over 90. And the whole fucking thing of being the queen is predicated on the fact that a bloodline, right? Like she's from the right family. So like she dressed up as a Dungeon and Dragons fucking reject, and in a non-ironic way. So of course she's fucking racist. Like, of course she's not gonna be progressive. You guys are fucking out of your mind. I knew from a really long time that I was good at comedy, because in high school I was making everybody die of laughter. Like they were crying of laughter while I was crying. Bullying joke. All right. I'm really bad at telling synopsis of movies, because once there were a friend of mine that wanted to watch The Exorcist, and I basically told him that The Exorcist is just that movie about the devil getting inside some kids. Okay, now I'm going to get a bit softer just for the more sensitive ears. So it doesn't matter how much of a vegan you are. When playing Duck Hunt, you all try to kill the fucking dog. Yeah, you all remember that. Well, that's the thing with those jokes right during the confinement. I don't get to test them before doing that kind of shit. So there you go. For those who haven't noticed, I'm French. So yeah, not only I'm French, but I also come from a really small town. Like you said, it's called Bécomo. Like there's a little Anglo community in Bécomo, but basically it's just some guy named Bob. Yeah, and people over there, like the French people over there, they don't speak much English. Like the best you can expect is my accent you're hearing right now. But like for most of them, they can't say anything in English. Like the most they can say is hello, thank you, and enlarge your penis.
What?
It's been almost 20 years since 9/11. Like it's one of the worst tragedy of the 21st century. But it's an even worse PR move from brown people. I never said it's going to be soft-like until the end, eh? I'm just getting even darker now. All right. So now that now I received a light, so I'm going to tell a last quickie. So I wanted to get my sexual life a bit more spicy, like because like sex is getting a bit boring for me, and I asked a friend how to do that. So he basically told me, "Hey, you know what? You have to talk dirty." But I got pissed because I'm not the kind of guy that would use such language with kids. And that was my time. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.
Oh.
Woo!
Thank you, Joey. All right, Joey LaFlamme, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it another round for Joey LaFlamme. Give it up.
Wow.
Good show. Good show. It's hope he remembers me when he's rich and famous. Okay, so we're gonna bring somebody back. On from backstage. There you go. And time for our next comedian. And he is a jazz pianist, from New York City. He loves the nightlife and likes to party. Oh, I wonder where he got that one from. I love the nightlife. I let it disco. Oh, so original. And his Venmo to tip him is at Rafi59. Please give very warm welcome to Mr. Randall Donovan.
All right. Thank you very much. So, I was bullied, you could probably tell, for 2 long, painful years of graduate school. And let me give you guys some advice. Don't pursue a master's degree in women's studies. It's a waste of time. It's so toxic, that environment. So stay away. Anyway, I'm very suspicious of people who say touche. It's a little pretentious, a little passive aggressive. What they're saying is, I think you're clever, but I went to private school. Double-edged. Also, like, it's really pretentious when people refer to their life as my journey. Oh, my journey, my journey. Hey, if your name's not Vasco da Gama or Steve Perry, I don't want to hear about your journey. All right, keep it to yourself. No, here's another expression that I don't know if you use this in Canada, but go to. Oh, my go-to coffee is Starbucks. My go-to bread is rye. My go-to cheese is cheddar. My go-to racial slur is hillbilly. Where does it end? Go-to, I don't know. So people ask me all the time, Randall, why are we so annoyed with everything? And I'll tell you something. It's not such a bad thing to be annoyed, because being annoyed is what energizes me. It's what motivates me. It's what gets me out of bed in the afternoon. So being annoyed, this morning something kind of unpleasant happened to me. This young guy starts yelling at me. Okay, boomer. Okay, boomer. And I'm like, dude, you have got to relax. Okay, calm down. I just asked for a cappuccino. Nice nose ring, by the way. No, I'm trying to get to the bottom of this contentiousness between boomers and millennials. I think that we should join forces and kick the crap out of Generation X, because what have they contributed to the culture, really? I mean, Janine Garofalo, Nirvana, David Foster Wallace. Bunch of crap. Come on, let's fix it. Solidarity is what I am advocating. Okay. So it was weird. I just tested positive for socialism. And at first I thought it was just democratic socialism, but it turned out to be full-blown socialism. And I was trying to figure out how this happened. And I realized I spent some time this summer in Norway, so that could have been. So I got on a very strict, low sodium diet. He told me not to listen to too much Bjork. And then I get better. I had a weird dream last night. I was very sad. I dreamt that Gwyneth Paltrow passed away. Very sad. And Elton John is playing at her funeral, and he sang, "It seemed to me that she lived her life like a smelly candle in the wind." I thought it was really, really touching. Clickbait on the internet. That's all the internet is, really. Let's face it. I bet you guys have seen this one. You see this one all the time. 25 celebrities who haven't aged well. They're a little harsh, don't you think? I mean, come on. Yeah, and they always feature Brigitte Bardot, who, in 1965, most beautiful woman in the world, hands down. But give her a break. She's 88 years old. She subsists on baguettes and creme fraiche. I'll tell you who hasn't aged well is Kurt Cobain. And he's never on the list. Hardly seems fair. I think lists are a bit rigged. It just, So my girlfriend is woke, and I'm running out of time. Okay, my girlfriend is woke. She's also selfish. Her pronouns are I, me, and mine. And she won't drink 1% milk. She says it tastes oppressive. I said, look, listen, Emma Goldman. When you're fighting capitalism, you got to drink that stuff slow. Let it trickle down, That's how you fight it. Okay, one more quick thing. She's a 9/11 denier. That's right. She thinks the whole thing was staged by James Cameron. Look, I'm not here to dispute James Cameron's cinematic ability, but 9/11 seems more like a George Lucas production. That's my time. Good night, people.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, man.
Thank you very much, Randall. Thank you for coming on. That was a great set. And we're going to say goodbye to Randall. Oh, he's gone. Okay. And add another comedian to the stream. And now, get ready for this guy. Hold on to your nuts or your floppy parts, because you're in for a ride. This guy, he is the killer, a lady killer and a killer of comedy. Okay, I'm going to bring him on shortly. I'll forego the drum roll. He's been featured at Broadway Comedy Club, St. Mark's Comedy Club, Nuevo Talento de 2019, New Talent of 2019, Skank Fest 2019, Concord's Comedy Festival 2020, and New York Underground Festival 2020. Show off. He's also recorded a comedy special in Spanish, Arepa Sarcastica, that'll be released later in 2021. Way to be modest, Kevin. Come on now. co-creator and co-host of Bromitas Spanglish Open Mic. That's every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom. Please give very warm welcome to Kevin Armando Escobar.
I'm so sorry I made that kind of hard for you to read, but it's Spanish is my first language, but what you gonna do, right? But anyway, hola mi gente, ¿cómo estamos? ¿Todo bien? Yeah. I don't speak French. I think we're in Canada, but oh well, what you gonna do, right? Look, I probably know what you're thinking. Is that blue-eyed white devil speaking Spanish? Hell yeah, this is America. You better learn Spanish to get out of this country, right? Oh man. I do have to wear this jersey sometimes so people know that I'm Colombian. You know, that's with the O, not with the U. So, you know, you don't get scared. And yes, my name is Kevin Escobar, but I prefer if you call me Kevin Armando Escobar Escuero Ocampo Cardona. All right? Don't forget it. Don't forget it. All right? And yes, my last name is Escobar. And no, sadly, I am not related to the late, great Pablo Escobar. Que Dios lo bendiga, no? I'm sure we all saw Narcos. I'm sure we all know who Pablo was, right? But one thing that pissed me off and made my mom cry was the fact that the actor on the show was Brazilian and he had the worst Colombian accent ever, right? I don't know if anyone knows this, but Colombians are known for having one of the sexiest Spanish accents in the world, even better than Spain, because they're spitting all the time, right? So, for example, right here. Hola, mami, ¿cómo estás? Hueles como un cerdo, acaba de bañarte en pantano. That's fucking sexy, right? Yeah. What I actually said was, hey, girl, what's up? You smell like a pig that just finished taking a bath in mud. All right. But you know, actually, again, I am not related to Pablo, sadly, but apparently my dad still tried to live up to the name because when I was 7 years old, he was actually arrested for trying to smuggle in cocaine from Colombia in his culo. Yeah. I'm sure I don't have to translate culo for anyone here because I'm pretty sure most of you still eat it even during this pandemic. You guys, you're disgusting. But look, I understand. I get it. He was just trying to feed his family. Well, his other family. Long story, but yeah. But it's okay because, you know, later on when I was a little kid, my mom got me a dog and she named him after my dad because they both had one thing in common. They both wouldn't stop running away from home and banging other bitches. So please do me a favor. If you ever run into any old Colombian man named Pedro Pendejo Escobar, I give you my blessing. Just put him down. All right. All right. So this is a random question. Is anyone here mad that the new Little Mermaid is going to be black? All right. Like us, you know, if we had a orange president, I'm pretty sure it's okay for her to be black. And these people that are mad are probably the same people that think Jesus was white. But the truth is, they both don't exist. So, you know. So I hope everyone here had a great Valentine's. I know it's hard during the pandemic. I have a lot of single friends that have been living alone this whole time, and they have horrible carpal tunnel because of all the video games, you know. So one thing about women, right? They have a lot of power over us sometimes, right, guys? For example, if on Valentine's Day you don't get them flowers or chocolate, they get mad at you. And me being an asshole, I asked my fiance, so where's my flowers and chocolate? She got mad at me. So later that night, she didn't give me any of her flower or her chocolate. So yeah, that was that bit doesn't work on internet. I don't know, but I'm trying to work it out, right? Anyway, so before I go, one main fight on abortion is when does life actually begin? And according to my Colombian mom, life does not begin until you move out of my fucking house, pendejo. Yeah, so according to her, I'm only 8 years old. Yeah. So yeah, thank you. I go by Sarcastic Arepa on all social medias. Muchas gracias. Good night.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Kevin, thank you. Great show, great set, great going. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to bring up our next comedian. Okay. And his name is Curtis, but he goes by the stage name of Kurt Russell. He does clean comedy. He says, I do clean comedy on my version of the world to anthropomorphizing furniture. That's fucked up. So please give a very warm welcome to Kurt Russell.
Okay, yeah, I didn't really realize that was gonna be out there. I thought I just wanted like a description of myself a little bit. Yeah, okay, I'm kind of new to all this, but yeah, hey, I'm Kurt Russell. I know it's really not what you're expecting. The truth is, the Hollywood camera adds 30 years and gives you hair. The only okay, well, maybe I was actually just born in the 80s. I'll give you a couple of hints though. I was conceived after the movie Tequila Sunrise came out. Both my parents screamed "Why?" Hence my chromosome. Then I was named Kurt after the movie Winter People came out, but with a C, right? Actually, as I got older, I decided to get my name circumcised. It's just that there's no role models named Curtis. There's no strong people really named Curtis. You know who's named Curtis? It's stalkers. Stalkers are named Curtis. Like, for instance, when I met my wife, she was being stalked by Curtis. It was quite odd. In fact, when I asked her out, she was on a date with him. He was the only one that knew that, though. It got a little confusing. I drove her home, and he went around telling everybody that he was going out with her. It kind of worked for a little bit, right? But then she had to call him up, and it was like, okay, Curtis, I'm not going out with you. I'm going out with Curtis. Oh, yeah, okay. To this day, I'm not entirely sure if he got it, because I'm pretty sure I'm the only one married to her, but in the end, only he's going to know. That was all a long time ago, though. That's all a long time ago, and you never really would have guessed we'd been in the time of COVID now, right? With lockdowns. Remember when it all started 15 days ago? Yeah, longest 15 days I've ever seen. I remember when it started, everyone was outside on their front porch just like redoing everything. Like everyone had all this free time. They're like, I'm just going to repaint the house. I'm going to repaint the porch and then just making the insides look good. My wife's just out there looking at the window. We're going to do that. You're going to do that for me, right? I'm like, and then I don't really have an excuse. She got really into revamping. So now, like, what I've been doing is I've been following her on Pinterest as Tammy, just so I know what my week is going to be like. I try and put pins up for her, like how to surprise your husband with dinner, top beer picks for your husband, how to stop killing your husband with Pinterest ideas, and she started blocking my pins after that. I'm pretty sure because she told me Tammy sucks. It always gets me a little worried though whenever I walk into a room and see her just standing there like this, and then she looks up. Honey, I know in that situation, it's never followed up with, you're so wonderful, I love you, let me rub your back. Just to bring this into context, it's when your friend calls you up and he says, hey, buddy, you know if you don't put an end to that conversation quickly, you're going to be helping him build his wife's Pinterest ideas. It's crazy. What happens is that I usually don't get too much time to actually try and rehearse my bits. Like, the only thing that can really go through my head is more furniture, really. Or like I'm just injuring myself. It's like I don't know if I got a hernia or if I pulled a muscle. It's like, do I tuck it back in or do I put ice on it? This is what goes through my head. So when I come up here, it's a little bit choppy sometimes. The idea though is that this thing is revamping is a sickness. It's called revamped psychosis. It's married women are twice as likely to get it. Their spouses are twice as likely to die from it. And there are remedies. It's just the person administering the remedies usually ends up sleeping on the couch. It's a bit of a problem for me. I have been trying different ways. Like, are you guys familiar with revamping at all? It's so revamping. Okay, get it. This is when you take Chris Boris's hair, Muammar Gaddafi's face, Donald Trump's body, and say, "This is Justin Trudeau," but with furniture. There's people out there selling this right now. Like, there's a guy standing there. He's just like, "Hey, you over there. You want to look homeless inside your own home? I got the piece of furniture for you. Come here. You got kids? It's busted anyways. Doesn't even matter. We all know you're going to drop it." And then it's like, they even throw in free stuff with it too. It's just like, hey, you want to even look homeless outside your homeless looking home? We'll throw in a pair of distressed jeans for free. How am I doing for time?
Okay. Your time is up.
My time is up. Okay, I'll cut it there. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we'll kiss your ass goodbye, and we're going to bring in, so we can let another comic into the stream here. Thank you very much for coming on, Kurt. Okay. All right. So I have to leave now. Okay, and here we go. All right. So for our next comic, okay, do we have? Yeah, our next comic. Do we have an intro? Yep. I have special introduction to this very wonderful special lady. She's performed all over New York City. She's the producer of jokes from Underground Comedy Show. Please give a very warm welcome and go crazy for Ilana Shupak. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now I have a baby, and being pregnant was so weird. I remember it so vividly. Like, you know how sometimes when you're pregnant with your first child and you're in the middle of having sex and just like all of a sudden you just think to yourself like, oh my God, my whole family's inside me right now. Like, oh, oh, it's so weird, right? You know what I mean? You know, that trick's a little bit of a gross one. I need a palate cleanser after that one. Okay. What do you call it when you have too much beet soup and you've got to get rid of some of your beet soup? An abortion. So, anyways, giving birth was beautiful. I was in the middle of giving birth. Totally natural, no meds whatsoever. But that's not relevant to this story. It's just I gave birth naturally, and now I have to tell everybody about it forever. And by the way, I don't think I'm better than other people because I did natural childbirth. Okay. I think I'm better than other people because I'm a vegan, obviously. But what was I saying? Okay, I was in the middle of giving birth, and all of a sudden, everyone in the room got really excited, and they started like smiling and chattering, and someone in the back was like, "We can see the head," but I guess I didn't look excited because like I couldn't see anything, but clearly the midwife wanted me to be excited. So she was just like, Alana, reach down and touch your baby's curly hair. And so I do, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, such thick curls. She's so cute. She's like, actually, hon, a little lower. Lower. But she was born. It was cute. Like they laid her on my tummy and stuff, and like we did all the usual stuff. Like I fed her for the first time, and like my husband cut the umbilical cord, and I ate the placenta. So cute. Oh my gosh. By the way, relax, you guys. That's just a joke. That's disgusting. My husband did not cut the umbilical cord. But, you know, it's funny what they say about birth jokes. Or it's just like, don't tell birth jokes. Birth jokes aren't funny. But I think it's all about the delivery, you know? So, yeah. You know, the song I've listened to most during lockdown has probably been WAP. I guess I just really empathize with those girls because I don't cook or clean either, you know? You know, it's almost Passover. Yeah, I wanted to try out some jokes about matzah, but now I'm thinking they're a little too dry. Matzah jokes. But no, having a newborn is wild. It's like you're exhausted and frazzled, and you know, all of a sudden they just hand you a baby and a stack of paperwork. But it's especially exhausting if you have like if you're breastfeeding, you have a newborn on you like 24/7, just like sucking and draining your life force 24/7. And it's like with breastfeeding, it's like you can't even drink alcohol unless you want the baby to sleep really well at night. Just saying, it goes straight through the breast milk. But no, I don't mean to make breastfeeding sound like it's all bad. Like obviously there's some benefits. Like for example, if you have any really annoying lactose intolerant people in your life, it becomes like a really great way to fend them off. Like just clear a room. It's really useful for that. I endorse that. You know, this whole COVID thing has really brought out my morbid side. So I decided, just in case the worst should happen, my husband and I have to make a will. So I started like searching online for free or inexpensive will options. But you guys, it turns out that free will is an illusion. So what are you gonna do? You know, a lot of parents I find like to talk about, you know, how hard it is to have a kid. But I notice they always say, but it's the greatest feeling in the world. Like they always feel the need to mitigate it. And I don't feel the need to mitigate it. Like I'm a parent. I like to talk about, you know, joke about it during my stand-up comedy. I'll just tell you, if you're not a parent, you're thinking about becoming one, you're listening to this, being a parent is really ridiculously, unimaginably hard. No buts. Just no buts. No buts. That's so funny. That's the exact motto that got me pregnant in the first place. So ironic. Okay, thank you so much. You've been a lovely crowd. Have a good night.
Thank you, Alana. And now, sad to see you go. Good set, by the way. And that's it. So we're gonna bring on another stupendous lady who is been so anxious to do her set for the last 2 days, just chomping at the bit, sitting on pins and needles, just so she can entertain all you nice folks out there. So she's an Army veteran who has been performing comedy with the Armed Services Arts Partnership since 2017, originally from the DC area and now trying to navigate in the Midwest. She's happy and honored to be here. Please give a big round of applause and a very warm welcome to Monica Daly.
Woo, everybody. This is my favorite part about working from home, is trying to figure out the Zoom. I call it sleeping at work. At this point, that's exactly what it feels like. Although I'm happy, I'm thrilled. Like like Jennifer said, no bra. It's been like a good time. I'm not looking forward to going back. Some of my coworkers might be excited to have me go back because I am still going to be no bra. It is so comfy. But it's not my favorite body part. Really, my favorite thing is scrotums. Anybody else really love a scrotum? Like, they're the best. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I don't know why more people don't love them. They're fabulous. You guys do one of two things if I come towards your scrotum. You giggle or you flinch. Like, I am waiting for the guy who, like, walks forward. Like, it is a fabulous piece of equipment. I do feel like it's a little unfair. People in their 20s and 30s are surrounded by, like, perfect scrotum. Like, it's a good scrotum in your 20s and people don't recognize it. Like, after you get in your 40s and it's like August, it's a little bit like two old guys coming back from a fishing trip, right? Like, it's old, it's tired, it's sweaty, it's not catching anything. It's why when I was married, I put my husband in a kilt from like November to April. Like, I wanted them high and tight. Like, it was awesome. We called them winter balls in my house. They were the best things ever. If my tits could do that, I'd move to the Upper Peninsula all the time. Like, they're just a magic creation. You guys do nothing. They just go left for no reason. I don't think you guys just really, they're great. They're really my favorite. If I could get my tits raised though naturally, I would fill them with helium. I think that would be great. They would just float along by themselves, doing nothing. If his voice changes, we know they're leaking. Like, it's a very good early warning system, right? It'd be like the most fun having sex with like some very bizarre cartoon character. I also love women. Anybody else love women? Women. If you don't have a specific type of woman in your life, I suggest you go get them. If you don't have 70-year-old women in your life, like a pack of them, go find some. They don't give a fuck anymore. There's no inside voice. There is no outside voice. There's just one level. And they're always worried about the baby who doesn't have a hat on its head. They're like, Monica, why doesn't the baby... Ginny, do you have one in your knitting bag? We could give the baby in the hat. Did anybody know why the baby doesn't have a hat on its head? I'm like, because we're in church. It's a baptism. Stop it, Linda. Calm down. They are the best, though. Mine want to run capers, and they call me up like I'm their ringleader for decisions about the capers they're going to do. It's like working with Ocean's 80. Like, they can only do these things from 1 to 3. Nobody can night drive. They've got great plans. I'm cracking open my mom's casket to like help out with things. I'm like, they're the best. Really, you should get a pile of women like that. But we knit together in the pre-times. And if you're knitting in public, everyone will come to tell you that you're knitting in public. And they will ask you specifically if you're knitting. Are you knitting? Is it knitting? Are you knitting? Is it knitting? Are you knitting? Is it knitting? Are you knitting? My grandmother used to knit. What are you knitting? And my girls are great. They're always like, baby blanket, hats for the homeless. I'm always like, thong. Like, if you knit that with some glow in the dark yarn, you can chase that banana around for a while before you have to peel it. It is great to watch people try and deal with that. The only people who hate knitters are the people sitting next to me on an airplane. That was always my favorite. I would pull out knitting sticks, and the guy next to me would go, I can't believe they let you bring your weapons on the plane. That implies that you also had weapons that they did not let you bring on the plane. He's like, really? So, Chipper, this is going to be exciting. What weapon did you want to bring on the plane? And he's like, toenail clippers. If you brought toenail clippers on the plane to do your toenails on the plane, these would be weapons. I would stab you to death. And then I'd make you a thong. Thank you guys so much. I've been really excited to be part of the show. I really appreciate it. Have a good night.
Yay! Thank you. That was great, Monica.
Thanks.
Well, thanks a lot. Now, I don't know how I'm ever going to get to sleep. Okay. Okay, that was fantastic. So we're going to bring on our next comedian, okay, who is very anxious to share his set with you. Okay. He's a 47-year full-time comic, been on America's Got Talent, The Tonight Show, and The Late Late Show with James Corden, and is star of Drinking Beer and Smoking Cigarettes with 2.4 million views. Please welcome Mr. Perry Kurtz.
Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Please, everyone, please sit down, go back to your windows. Please stay in your windows. Please don't interbreed. Oh, how about a round up for that last lady and her love of scrotum? I thought that was beautiful to me, that you love scrotum that much. I mean, I love my scrotum. I take them almost everywhere I go. I got them with me now. Well, I thought I did. Oh, I don't know. I got them. It's just that now that I'm getting older, and this is a thing that happens as you get older, gravity starts to grab your parts and pull them down. And I don't want to say my scrotum's hanging down, but I stepped on my balls getting out of the tub last night. It's all right. I tripped my penis getting to the tub. But you know, folks, so my name is Perry Kurtz. I'm originally from Philadelphia. You probably all remember Philadelphia, one of the original cities. They like to talk about Philly as being a very advanced, modern thinking city, yet all these years they still haven't fixed the Liberty Bell. Can't put some duct tape over that crap or something. You know, I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. But I'm not from New York. People say, you from New York? I know if I was from New York, I would talk like I got a sandwich stuck in the side of my mouth. I'm from Philly, where we say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't know why. I'm also celebrating a birthday a little over a month ago, February 5th. I turned 70 years old. I am 70, and look at this. This is all natural. I still have all my hair. I have younger guys come up to me and they go, do you darken your hair? Yeah, I darken it, and then I spray the gray back into it. Get away from me, you tard. So I don't want to say the whole word because that would be incorrect. Yeah, and there's so much hate going on in the world. People hurting each other here in LA, people shooting up, people with machetes, hacking into people. Oh, just yesterday I was going to get on the train downtown, and some guy named Adolf tried to push me and go, get in the train, get in the train. I said, no, I'm not getting on if you're pushing me, Adolf. Please stay in your seats. Please don't get up. So I am 70 years old. I've got all my hair. I'm amazed that I'm this old. On my birthday, I had a birthday roast in North Hollywood, and comics got up and they said horrible, mean things about me, which I'm used to. I make fun of myself all the time. One of my opening lines, I say that I'm Larry King's retarded cousin. I'm not Billie Jean King with a smaller penis. And now they say I look like Orville Redenbacher with Down syndrome, a turtle without a shell. Look, if I'm keeping you guys up, please let me know, because I don't want to bother anybody. But this is then just during last night, I actually got to do a live show in West Los Angeles at a club called The Mint. We were in a little concert room inside called the Green Room. And the audience was sitting outside on the patio watching us on the big green screen, on a big projection screen. But what was weird is the people inside were laughing. And then a split second later, we would hear the laughter outside. So when you're up there and you're doing your material, it's very confusing. When you're laugh and then in the background, and you have to stop and wait for them. But they were great. They were great. I'm just happy that I'm alive. I'm doing what I love. I've been doing comedy full time for 47 years. Never had a day job. And as you can see in the background, I've been everywhere. I've done everything. I'm the man that hugged Jay Leno. I'm the man that James Corden hugged. Down here, I am with Robin Williams. We used to be improv partners. And now I'm at a point where I have no idea what I'm talking about, especially right now, because Jeff's sitting there just staring at me with those googly eyes of his. Or is it the glasses that make the eyes look so big? I don't know. How about a round of applause for your host? Let's hear for Jeff, huh?
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
We are so glad he's finally out of jail. Glad he's out of jail. We really are. But I'm happy to be alive, as I said. I used to travel around the country. And a couple of years ago, I did a tour in Asia, which is really cool because I'm 5'4.5". So in Asia, I was considered tall. That doesn't happen. Then I came back, and right now I'm currently married to the same woman for 31 years in a row consecutively. But we've been separated for 11 years, so I've been happy for the last 11 years. But I met her when I moved down here to Los Angeles. Milton Berle was a good buddy of mine. I met him in '84, and he became my mentor. And he got me into the Friars Club and then got me into the Comedy Store, got me an audition. I met my wife online, found out she had 3 kids, didn't know their fathers. So I married them just to be a father. Now I have a 16-year-old kid. And people tell her that she looks at me and she gets pissed off. That's a horrible thing to say. But I love her anyway. And the bottom line is childbirth was painful for me too, because it was a cesarean section and I had to hold my wife's arms down while they sliced her open. Very painful. Actually, they used a pizza cutter. It wasn't that bad, but it was messy, especially the sauce that came out afterwards. But you guys have been great. Thanks for being here. If you like what I do, I'm not working, haven't worked since last March. I was making all my money doing senior shows. They're closed. So I've got Venmo over here. I got PayPal there. And I also take Cash App. I'll take whatever you got. I got a family to support, even though we're separated. Thank you for being here. And have a good night. Huh?
Thank you, Stu Penrith. It's a great pleasure and honor to have such an experienced, talented comedian on the show here, and just on an open mic show. Who thought? It's just unbelievable. Thank you. Thank you so much. Can't thank you enough.
My pleasure.
Well, bad news is show is almost over, but good news is I want everybody to stick around in the stream till the end. We're going to have some time to spare. Probably near the end of the show. So I want to bring on a very special lady. And you see that I'm just showing her picture now. Christine. Hi. Okay.
Hi.
Oh, that's you. Okay. Oh, okay. You're so quiet. So you're so still. Okay. Okay. Very special lady I've known for the last few months. And she is... don't be fooled. She's not as innocent as she looks. Don't be fooled by her wholesome, girlish, innocent looks. It's not. And I call her the comic queen of the sploogers, the splooge queen. And she is one of the hosts in Rampantly LA of the Red Mics, which I think is Tuesday nights. Which night?
The blue mic on Tuesday.
Blue mic on Tuesday. Oh, red. Okay. Yeah. I got. Okay. Right day, wrong mic. Blue, red, green, orange, purple. Like
they all look alike.
Who can keep track of these? It's so confusing. Come on. I'm almost 65 years old. Give me a break. So, very talented lady. Please give a very warm welcome to the darling of comedy, Christine Knowlton.
Hello, it's so great to be here. So, I just did my first live stand-up show in over a year, And damn, it felt great to be on that stage. I mean, it felt great. I mean, things are looking up for this year, definitely. I'm ready to get back on stage. I'm ready to take on the world. And I'm doing it all in a push-up bra and heels. Yes! Gonna make it my world. But anyway, I'm a little hyped up, as you can tell. That happens after a really good show. So I get confused very easily. Like, for example, when the song WAP first came out, W-A-P, I was like, okay, I get it. But I thought it was wet, angry pussy. I mean, maybe once a month, that's when I call it my angry beaver. But no, WAP, wet ass pussy. Because if my pussy's wet, it sure as hell ain't angry. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm either horny or I'm always like hungry or horny and hungry all at the same time. You know, I'm either eating everything or I'm just like humping couch cushions. Like the other night, I was enjoying a nice little Debbie Swiss roll, and it ended up where it should not belong. I just rolled with it, and I had 2 kinds of cream when I was done. No complaints there. No complaints. So hair is a crazy thing. I mean, I'm not going to beat around the bush, mostly because I don't have one. But don't get me wrong, hair down there is great. I mean, it keeps everything nice and warm. I'm not against having a landing strip. But if you're a carpet muncher like me, then you know the importance of a nicely shaved beaver. I mean, I know a lot of us have let ourselves go during the pandemic. I mean, shoot, my legs before yesterday were still in no shave November. No shave December, no shave October. I don't know, whatever month it was. I turned out looking like a Wookiee. But anyway, it's like we let ourselves go a little bit. But here's the kicker. A lot of people have really let themselves go. Like, take, for example, if you put on a pair of briefs, and your pubes are like trying to escape the sides and they look like bozo, I think it's time to, knock down some of those weeds there, or at least maybe get some cornrows going in, something like that. But, did you know, like, if you shave your downstairs, like, it totally feels like you've lost weight. And I don't know about you, but that totally makes me feel better, especially during the pandemic where all I've been doing is eating. So, I mean, it's great to do that. You put on some nice underwear and, it feels like I've lost some coochie weight. So, like, a friend of mine, she refers to her snatch as a feral beaver. And he keeps growling. And I'm getting concerned because I think it's starting to grow some teeth. So I don't know, whether to get a shotgun or what, but it's definitely time to set that beaver free. I mean, like, take for instance, like when she's masturbating, does she have to part the Red Sea? I'm not talking about a period that would be disgusting. She's a ginger. She has red hair. But if you require, a comb for your naughty bits, I think it's time to get out the weed whacker. It's done. But, yeah. So it's like, I see some kinky bitches in the audience. By the way, hi, Buck. I see that you're still here. This is awesome. It's like I might not recognize most of you with your clothes on, but, I do know you from FetLife, and don't deny it. FetLife is a great way to meet kinky people. I mean, without it, I wouldn't have learned how to sploosh. Sploosh, for what some of you don't know, is female ejaculation. Like, here, let me paint a pretty little picture with my paintbrush, or my 2 fingers in this case. Okay, so imagine an elephant taking his trunk and going down and getting some water. He comes back up and he sprays it all over the place. Well, that's my vagina. It sure is. I mean, it feels like yesterday when I got my first wet floor sign in a strip club doing comedy. That stuck. The sign, not the sploosh. Sploosh is soft, not like semen where you can crack a blanket in half. It was more like juicy, it was actually juicier than the strippers, come to think of it. Just let that sink in. But I'll leave you with this real quick. Do you want to know why I do stand-up comedy?
Why?
Because when I did it laying down, they called it prostitution. I'm Christine Knowlton. Thank you, and have a nice night. Have a great night. Have some kind of a night. Sploosh.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Oh, my God, oh my God. Cyber hugs to you. Oh my goodness, my goodness. Yeah, my goodness. You know, splooshing and splashing, you know, this, and, you know, a bit radical, a bit out there. Have you ever seen the series Naked and Afraid? You know, where a man and woman try to survive out in the middle of the jungle with looking for food and water. I mean, you're a man. It's a man and a woman. You know, I mean, come on. You're to get alone for 21 days. So what if you're married or whatever? You know, you got to do something to survive. I mean, you have a thing called bodily fluids. You know, I mean. You got sex for survival. What's the matter with you? It's just so stupid. Okay, the next comic I'm going to bring on, okay, is a Brooklynite, New Yorker. He graduated from Brooklyn College. He's retiree, and let me see here. He is retiree in training at Social Security Administration in training, okay. And a avid Zoomer comedian. Please give a very welcome to Ziggy Saucer.
Woo! Thanks, Jeff. I guess you didn't get my intro I sent you. That was funny. I haven't heard that in a long time. Anyway, I wanted to talk about my best thing that happened to me in high school. And it was coming home one day with my best friend on the subway. And I'm sitting, he's standing holding the subway pole, the big pole from the ceiling to the ground. And he's fondling it. He's moving it, touching it, and going up and down, up and down. And all of a sudden, it pulls it out. And it comes out, and he's holding the pole in the middle of the subway car. It was out of the socket, you know, that it was in, and he's just holding it. And I figured, you know, we're getting to near a stop in a little while. He's going to put it back. He didn't put it back. He walked out of the train with this 7-foot long subway pole. And I'm thinking he's never going to get by the train booth clerk. But he starts limping with the pole, making believe it's a cane. And he goes right by the clerk. And I'm wondering, you know, what would it take a New Yorker to notice anything? Like if that pole would have been impaled with 3 people, you know, flailing their arms, would he have noticed? If Jesus would have walked by this clerk carrying the cross, would he have noticed? I don't think so. I think the sign, see something, say something, might only be for tourists. Anyway, he got it home, and his mother's outside, and she said, "Don't bring that subway pole in the house." And he said, "You know, how did you know it was a subway pole?" And she said, "I made your father put back his, and you're not going to bring your pole into the house." But, you know, he was a bit of a rebel, and he kept the pole. He brought it to his room, which was good because he was in a bunk bed with his brother. And it turned out very well for him because the class play was Man of La Mancha, and he got to play Don Quixote because he had his own lance. And I got the female lead because I didn't have a pole. And when we did the 10 Commandments, he got the part of Moses because he had his staff to part the Red Sea. And I played the golden calf. And he would make extra money during the summer at Renaissance fairs doing jousting. And during the year, he would make money as a election poll watcher. You know, I'm imagining when he got off the train at the poll. You know, I don't know if you know, there are subway dancers who go to the subways in New York City, and they start doing gymnastics on the poles. And I can imagine, you know, the group of them getting on, and all of a sudden they see the pole middle is missing, and they say, "Damn, someone took another one," and they have to go to another car. But I guess he had a hard time letting go, so he kept it. But I lost touch with him, and one day I walk into the Transit Museum and I see a wanted poster with the picture of the pole on it, and it says maybe armed or unarmed, but don't approach. If you see this pole, call the police. Then I saw him on the Antiques Roadshow, and I guess he wanted to get evaluated. And they said, "What can you tell us about it?" And he said, "Well, I swabbed it and I sent it to 23andMe, and I was very surprised. It turned out that it wasn't from Poland. It turned out it was from Transylvania." And they said, is it still in the original condition you got it? And he said, no, I cleaned it and everything. They said, oh, if you would have had it in the original condition, it would have been worth like $10,000. It might have had Jimmy Hoffa's fingerprints on it, or you could have had bacteria to cure diseases. But the way it is now, it's only worth $10. I think it worked out well with him with COVID, because he could go on the subway and just hold it up. He didn't have to worry about sharing it with anybody. And I guess it was prophetic that he had it, because he became a lawyer. He passed the bar to his son. And he is marrying a pole dancer. At least that was his first marriage to a pole dancer. And they got divorced, and now he's married to a fireman. Anyway, that's my time. I'm Ziggy Sesser. Everybody stay well. Nice to meet you, and have a good night.
Thank you, Ziggy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So that was great.
Thanks, Jeff.
Very glad to have you on. Give me a chance to catch up with Christine, one of my favorite female star comedians.
Perry. Nice to meet you guys. Nice to meet you, Perry.
Nice to meet you too.
Lucky Christine. Keep running. Don't fall down.
I'm sitting on crinoline right now, and it's just about to slip right out. It's like,
oh wow! I'm telling you, another one who is like, you could put Viagra out of business. Just do, every time you go to bed with a guy, just do your comedy act, and watch his Woody go up straight up, and no problems, no pills required. Doesn't matter what age, 60, 65, 70, 75, It's a non-pharmaceutical solution to ED. It's just, like some women says, well, what can I do to make her hard? Like, can I talk dirty? Can I put on soft music, put on Barry White, candles, I don't know, scents, lingerie, talk dirty. I actually had one girlfriend, I said, no, I think I'll pass. Because, she was a psychotherapist, I can't, my mind, I couldn't wrap my head around a psychotherapist talking dirty to me, like, come on, this is like totally out there. This is like totally out in left field. No way, Oh my God. It's like going to a psychiatrist, she's a woman, and say, and you're fantasizing about her talking dirty to you. Like, no, that's an erection killer. No way. Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, yeah.
Yes, it causes behavior modification, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's a new, what do they call it? CBT, cognitive behavior therapy. Yes, I know I'm getting hard, and and I know I want to come any minute. Okay, is that cognitive enough for you? I know I want to, have sex with you. Is that cognitive enough for you, or do I have to get more graphic? CBT. No pills required.
That takes care of our G rating right there.
I thought G rating was for G string. Shit, I'm confused.
I thought it was for goddamn.
No, but I did make a disclaimer. I said viewer discretion is advised.
That's true.
So tell all your friends they'll be watching this every day for the next 3 weeks, hiding their computers from their wives. Honey, what are you doing? I'm on a Zoom conference. What's it about? I don't know, stock market. I don't know. Yeah. Oh my God.
Okay. I got to get out of here. So nice to meet you guys, and just be well.
All right. Thank you very much for coming on.
I got a boogie too. Was a pleasure. Nice to meet you, Christine.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you again, Perry.
Yes. I'll tell Jolly you said hi if she shows up out at the parking lot in NoHo tomorrow night. That's a big show tomorrow night. So, but hopefully I'll run into you somewhere. If you know what I mean,
Oh yeah.
You know.
I know.
Okay.
I know you know, and I know you know. I know you know. Yeah.
I know you know. Jeff doesn't know though. Don't tell Jeff. We don't want him to know. All right, kids.
You know what? Scotty doesn't know either. So no.
All right, kids. I'm out of here. You can find me at Perry Kurtz on everything. Have a nice night. Take care. Keep your weight, Steph.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thanks, Perry. Shout out to Buck Evans. Thank you very much. And Buck Evans has become a really big fan. And Trish also from Buck Evans, Rodmania.com. I did a show. Tried to do a show, a DJ comedy show was so I'm having some technical difficulties. Anyways, that's it. He is very supportive of the community out there, doing a great bang up job out there in the Bay Area, and bringing out those really super tunes.
Yes.
And and Christine, I'm seeing your face all over Facebook, and you're in every show. You're everywhere.
I try.
Yeah. Well, you certainly are succeeding. We try harder, Avis. Okay, and looking forward to having you on the Boomer Gen Xer show coming up a week from Sunday.
I'm ready.
Yeah. And in fact, you're going to be, I'm going to have 2 more comics than usual. So I usually have 8, but I'm squeezing it to have 2 more to have 10. So you'll be in a bonus round with someone else, a Boomer.
Awesome.
And it should be a really unbelievable show co-hosting with, I should say, Tony Viagra. Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So tune in. It's another thing to look forward to. Tomorrow night, the Bro Show, Saturday night. Bro Show, 8 p.m. with my co-host Luke Logan. Okay, and 5 other outstanding comedians. Okay, and that's every Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight time. You know, I'm really enjoying now that the clock went ahead 1 hour. I'm really enjoying not having the extra hour, like going ahead, going to future, like going to future 1 hour, you know? So like I'm visiting, you know, I visited the future. I have to say, I'm not impressed. Okay, thank you very much, Chris.
You're welcome.
For coming on. We love you so much. And
Thank you.
And we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good night.
Right. And that was it. A great show, another great show with some amazing, outstanding comics. It's getting better and better. Tune in on Spectrum Comedy Productions, my Facebook page. If you haven't already, give it a like. Click the like button, and you'll get all the shows, everything, all the news, all the comedy news, and everything that's coming up with Spectrum Comedy Productions. And that's it. You always make contributions, donations through PayPal at yellowglassescomedy@gmail.com. I need all the help I can get, so at least I'll be able to afford a Zoom plan instead of this StreamYard, free StreamYard cheapo plan. Anyway, so thank you very much. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. And for those who will tune in after today, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for watching the show. And stay safe, stay warm, and stay beautiful.